And I started golfcourse.wiki, and I'm going to do a little tutorial about how to build up a course from a template. So if you download an image and you open it up in Inkscape, it's going to look like this if you turn off all the viewed layers on the right side. And if you're using a template from another hole, that's going to be the best way to go. So you're going to want to add an image layer at the bottom. So you want to add it below current layer and name it something like base image. And then click add. And then here we're going to import. So if you click up on the file thing there and click import, it's going to open up a window. And I've already downloaded a screenshot from USGS, which is copyright free aerial photography. So I'm just going to click import. Notice I'm going to take smooth. I want to optimize for quality here and click OK. And it's going to drop the image right in the middle of the screen. Now over here you'll see I'm going to lock the height and width. That way I can adjust it up and down, and I can click on it and I'll be able to rotate it so that the hole is at the top and the tee boxes are at the bottom. And I'm going to try and line those up. And then I want to put it somewhere near the top because this is a template, and I'm going to expand down there. And that's pretty good. We're going to adjust the background at the end. We're going to go ahead and lock this layer, and you want to leave it visible. And then there's no water on this hole, so I'm going to skip right over that layer to the outside rough. I turn that on. The first thing you're going to notice is that it is not transparent. So in the layers menu here, we can go down and we can reduce the opacity to like 40%, and it should allow us to just overlay the layer that we're working on onto on the image. So we're going to take the edit paths by nodes tool, and if you just, we have to unlock this layer, and if you just click on it, then you can just drag these paths to where you want them to be for this hole. So we just basically want to, this is the outer rough, so we want to go around the outside. We want to define the far outside of where the hole is. And we can do that pretty easily and quickly like this. I'm going to click over here on the zoom button so we can get a little bit more detail. And I can always change the opacity so I can see what I'm working with a little better. I click back on the node tool, and you'll see that I can get pretty accurate with the opening tee box here. All right, I'm going to back up here by just pressing Shift and clicking will let me zoom out. And now I'm going to go back to the node tool, and if I just go to the edge here and double click, I can add a node and drag it to where I want. So just adding a few nodes really quickly just so we can get the basics done here. So now I have the general shape that I want, but I want to smooth it out so it looks a little bit more rounded, nice, so it's not really angular. So I'm going to highlight all the nodes, and then if you click on this here, it'll auto smooth everything. So now everything's automatically rounded, and turn the opacity back up, and we're already done with our first layer. So I'll lock that layer, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll open up the rough layer, and I'm basically going to do the same thing. I have my nodes tool, and then I also have this tool which allows me to transform, so I can like make it bigger, make it smaller, that sort of thing. And remember to adjust the opacity here, and it's going to make most of the work very simple. After that, I'm going to do the same thing with the fairway, which is even more narrow. Then I'll work with the tee boxes. You can't see the tee boxes very well, so I'll turn down the opacity on the tees here. So you can see it's down there in the corner, and we're just gonna, gotta unlock that. And we're just gonna drag it over where the tees need to be, and then we can shape it again with our node tool. We'll do the same thing with the green. We'll do the same thing if there's any water, hazards. These, if you download a hole that has all these as a template, it'll be really, really straightforward. And it takes about, maybe an hour to get super detailed, maybe like 15 minutes if you just want to do a nice and easy basic overview. And that should get you most of the way to using Inkscape, using a template to create golf courses, golf course holes for golfcourse.wiki, and that's how you create content.